Howdy. Today is a video that I've been looking forward to doing for a long while now. Last video we did regular old functions. And the question that came up quite a bit was, why exactly would you want to call a function? And I gave one example with the zombies, but it didn't seem too incredibly useful, did it? Well, this is going to be my definitive reason for why you should use these things. Because you can make them loop, and these looping functions can be incredibly helpful in the right situation. Let's head on over into the world. So, normally in a coding language, a looping function it is preordained by the system to run every single frame. But you can also make what is known as you can also use what's known as recursion. You can call a function within itself. Now, what I mean by that is, suppose you have a command, and I don't know what let's say it would say hi, increment a variable, and then call itself if that variable is less than a certain value. The way I like to think about it is that this is going to run all three of these commands again. So you end up with, it's kind of a tacky representation of it, but you end up with something like this, and then this would call itself again, and it would keep going on like this until that value is too high, and we reach our exit loop, our exit condition. Well, we go grab we set the time to day so that you can actually see. You grab a sign. It's just like say, stop here. So, let's try and implement this now. We head over on the notepad, and I think I'm just going to use tutorial test input again. Let me go ahead, actually first, go to file path. We're going to have to make a new function for this. I'm going to call this I'm just going to call it say it again .mc function. And now that I have that, let's head on over into Notepad and load up say it again .mc function. So what does this do? Well, every time it runs, you'll have to excuse me for a moment, because I'm going to want this. Every time it runs, we will do scoreboard players remove @s tutorial test input 1, and then say hello. And then we put in an execute command, execute if entity @s, and you can use if score here, but I mentioned it earlier that I do like to use if entity with a score a little bit better, but it seems like it's just personal preference. Let's say if it's equal to 0 or less. Then run the function again. So now that we have that done, let's head on over into Minecraft, reload, and then grab that function. Say it again. You might notice I run it. That just ran 65,000 commands. And this is what we want to avoid. Let me check real quick. Do scoreboard players get @s. Yep, I was afraid of that. Why is this not working? Actually. Oh! I'm a dunce. That should be if. That should be unless. No wonder. So now, if I, with that little modification, reload, if I try it again, it runs once. It doesn't even run. It just, I mean, it doesn't even loop. It just runs once and then never again. But suppose that I were to manually set my tutorial test input to 5. If I have this right, it'll loop 6 times. I think that... Nah, it looped 5 times. Okay, perfect. Because it ran 5 times and then failed looping the last time. I see. Or set it to 10. Say it again, and it will run 10 times. And same situation. So now, this is all well and good. But why would you want this? Well, it doesn't have to just be a position that we're looking for. Suppose that I want to write a function. I'll call it... hang on, I'm writing in the different tab. I don't want to have to... There we go, edit. Snap to collision. This is an interesting idea. So suppose that I have a function that teleports me let's do 0.1 blocks forward. The caret brackets are just going into the x, either side to side, up or down, or forwards or backwards, from the perspective of where the player is looking. So what it'll do is it'll teleport me forward, and then execute unless block caret 0.1. Oh, rather this would be if run itself again. Snap to collision. This, rather than being an exit variable, this is an exit condition. It will keep running over and over and over and over again until there's something directly in front of my face. So, I have a funny feeling this isn't going to work properly if I'm staring straight down, because I'll just embed myself on the floor, but I feel like... It's worth a shot. Yeah, it didn't work. Let's try... like so, and I'll try and keep my eye on it as I travel backwards. Oh, what am I doing? TP me forward. That's why it broke before. The only reason it didn't do 65,000 commands before is because, like, again, it's difficult to have all the pieces work out. So now, whoop. Do I need to put an at s? I must. Let's try this. Reload. There's a process to it. Yes! Brilliant. It worked perfectly. So now, suppose I wanted to get over there. All I have to do, boop. It went all the way over. suppose I gotta be careful here. Boop, all the way over. It kept going over and over and over again until it reached its target. Now, that might be a bit confusing, but let me make things a bit simpler by making it only go off of, let's say, 0.5. And then do that, and then summon an armor stand that is invisible, glowing, and has no gravity. Let's say no base plate too. Because it'll show it. What this will do is it'll show everywhere that I've been. If I did that correctly. Put a B there. There we go. So now, let me run this again and aim down. If I turn around, it shows my exact... That looks awesome, actually. That looks way better than I was expecting it to. It shows my exact vector of contact. I was here, and then I got teleported here. There's no air. There was no air in front of me. So I just traveled in a ray like this, all the way down to where I needed to be. Now, something important to note with this is notice that even with that simple one, it ran 315 commands. So let's kill all of the armor stands. Tab over and remove this bit. By the way, something important to note is you can use hash marks, or I guess hashtags, as the kids say, to mark off lines as being comments. They will not be read by the system, but you can still keep them there either for reference or just like if you wanted to add something here, like a comment. This teleports the player. Even if it doesn't have proper syntax, the system will skip right over it. This loops. Alright. You know the deal. So, the last thing that I want to do is apply it to these little snowballs again. What I'm going to want to do is create a variable. I'm trying to think how I want to do this. Because you can nest iterative functions inside of iterative functions. I'm trying to think how I'd want to do this, though. I think that works. What I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to make a set of armor stands that... Basically what I'm going to want to do is make it so that armor stand 1 spawns here, and the other will spawn 1 block away and 1 block up, and the other will spawn 1 block away and 2 blocks up, and then the other will spawn 1, 2, 3, 1 block away and 3 blocks up, like so. I think I know how I'm going to do that. Let me go ahead and make 2, let's see, go to Notepad. I'm going to make 2 commands, one called armor teleport. And then another one called armor summon. Let's open these both up. Now the first one I'll do, oops. Let me hop into the main first, execute as @e type equals snowball. I can type today, good lord. Run scoreboard players. set at S. Good grief, I need to like play a typing game or something. My typing skills are all messed up. Let's have it run 10 times. And then execute as at E type equals snowball. At S run function. Armor sum. This is where it starts to get confusing. I've passed something in that will summon an armor stand. That armor stand, what I want to do is go off of the previous armor stand. The first one will move, starting from here, it will summon an armor stand. The next one will be summoned to the left and then move up 1. The next one will be summoned to the left and move up 2, oops, and then move up 2, like so. But how do I represent that? Well, I feel like the simplest way to do it would be with a command. Let's do execute as, what now? Summon armor stand, tilde, tilde, tilde. No gravity, 1B. So let's add in a tag just for the sake of it. I'll name it armor display or something like that. Let's do scoreboard, players, remove. Always got to make sure that this is here. If this isn't here, or if it's here in the wrong syntax, it's going to cause an error. This, now I just gotta copy, oops. I'll copy this one because it's closer to what I need. Run armor summon. As at E type equals armor, oops, I don't need a type, I need a tag. Equals armor display distance equals 0.5 dot dot. 0.5, this is a syntax that I like to use a lot because there's no easy way to say unless it's me. I guess you could use unless entity at S, but this also works and it kind of like bundles itself together with the rest of the stuff. Let's do limit equals 1, sort, nearest. Oh no, that would actually, limit 1 would work, I think. And then summon it 1 block to the left. Now, if I did this right, the first half should be complete. Let's head on back over. Reload, and then try to summon the snowball, be prepared. Things could get messy. Oh, wait. One more thing I gotta do. Execute as at E. Type equals snowball at S run kill. At S. That's important. That's very important, actually. I'm ashamed that I forgot that. Because I want it to only run once. Oh. It's summoning 1, and it's also summoning only 1. Oh! I did that wrong. Okay, I see what's going on. It's because that was wrong. Okay, so now if I run this... Okay, it's working, it's working, but it's not working completely. S. Load. Yes! Yes! Amazing. Worked perfectly. It only took, what, like 10 minutes? You want 100 armor stands? Oops, that's not the direction I should be putting them in. That's 101 armor stands. Amazing. Now the next half. The next half is I want them to teleport themselves. Let's go execute as @e tag equals armor display, limit equals 1, sort equals nearest, run. Oh, that would actually be quite cool. Instead of doing the teleport thing, I have something else in mind. Let's do armor summon. Let's rotate 20 degrees. And let's do this 90 degree, let's set these off and then do 90, negative 90. Actually, I feel like the wackiness, I feel like, is good enough with the rotation. I don't want to try and push things because this video is already getting quite long. Boop. What is this? Ah, I see. I need to change the syntax to caret rotation so that it actually cares about what way I'm facing. Caret notation, rather. Now, yeah, that's really cool. Kind of like it arcs outwards like that. Look at that. That's really cool. I'd say that was worth my time. That looks fantastic. And now I think I can do something like... What in tarnation? It's because I'm looking straight down, I bet. Let me do Y rotation of 1 instead, so that I can do this. Look at that, the hurricane. That is so sick. Oh my god. That was definitely worth my time. And like, God, that's really cool. It like bends outwards based on what direction I'm facing. That's really sick. Sorry I'm like gassing on about this, but I think this looks fantastic. Let me try something else real fast. Let's do data, execute as @e tag So armor display at s run data modify entity at s merge actually passengers ID falling block time equals 1 block state. I hope this fits. I'm just gonna put the Minecraft and that'll be enough. Come on. Yes! Is it not? Wait. Is something wrong with this syntax? No, it is. Aw, that's unfortunate. It doesn't look like you can add passengers to things that are already summoned. Which is sad, but kind of expected. Whatever. That was extremely fun. There's a weird kind of joy that I get to noodling out problems like that. But it took a while, but it definitely works. You need a Lovecraftian monster on the go? Look no further. Lovecraftian monster / horror / roller coaster ride. Either way, that was a lot of fun, and hopefully y'all learned something from that. Iterative functions are insanely useful for doing things that you cannot do with anything else. So, yeah. For the homework, I think, let's see what I had written down. Yeah, write a function that gives an amount of coal between 1 and 400 to the player as individual items. Now, you can do it through a give command, you can do it through summoning items directly, you can use a random variable, you can use a variable you set yourself. Doesn't really matter. And for a little extra challenge, see if you can find a way to optimize the function to give the coal in stacks of 64. Because as with that current setup, it would probably, like, with 400 bits of coal, it would have to run something like 1200 commands. Or, what would that be? Summon coal decrement variable run function. I think it would be 800, actually. But that's still a ton. So see if you can optimize it. Give the coal in full stacks instead when needed. And then give the rest manually. That being said, though, this video has gone on for way too long. So I think I'm gonna cut myself off. Either way, though, that was fun. Hopefully you learned something, and thanks so much for watching, y'all.